Hey up there folks, Yorkshire Chess Fanatic here. Just going to start out by saying this is obviously a new channel, so your support would be appreciated. I'm going to jump into a few blitz games today. I've only played a couple of games so far, so I might have to lose a few before we get on a win streak. I'm not a grandmaster, far from it. About 1100 rated on chess.com. Today's on Lee Chess, so maybe slightly higher I might get up to. So let's go with the game. I'll try and walk you through some my thought process. Alright, so e4, I like to play the Caro-Kann, which is c6. And push this pawn. Takes, take back. Again, I'm not sure if these are the best moves, it's just my thought process. So again, he pushes a pawn to the centre, just normal developing move. Knight out to f6. Okay, so bishop out with a check. So I've got a couple of options here. Could play knight to c6 and block the bishop, which would be there, or knight in front of the king, bishop or the other knight. I'm probably just going to move my knight there, and if he takes, I'll just take back. So I'll pre-move that there. Okay, so he adds an attacker, which means he's got two attackers to one defender, so I need to protect that piece. I could give a check, I think would work. No, because then if I win, then the bishop, the knight then comes in. Perhaps I'll give a check. No, I won't. See, and this is the good thing. It's you've got to sometimes spend, rather than just rushing your moves, really think out the possibilities. So my thought process is queen out to a5 check. He can then block with his knight, and it defends the bishop, but my knight is still under attack. So I might just move the queen here, which obviously protects the knight, and if he decides to take, I can just take back, and the bishop is forced to move back. So now I'm thinking about king safety and obviously developing moves. So I need to let the dark square bishop out. I could play e6, which blocks the light square bishop. So I like to develop the light square bishop first. I'm just conscious of the time as well. Okay, just attacks. I'm just going to slide the bishop back. He's probably going to attack it again, but I'm happy to move it again and then just take and open up the H file for the rook. Okay, he doesn't take, so I'm going to exchange there. I'm just really thinking about getting that dark square bishop out and castling on the king's side. Okay, so he's attacking my knight, forcing double pawns. If he was to take my knight, I'd have to take with a pawn, and double pawns are obviously bad. So I'm probably just going to protect the knight first with a queen move, just there, and then I can play e6, making a pawn chain on a, because then that blocks off my queen. Right. Okay, so I'm probably going to play this move first just to kick the bishop back. He's probably just going to stay attacking the knight, so I might just move the knight if he decides to stay on that diagonal. Which he does, or they do. So I'm probably just going to retreat the knight back, play c6, get the bishop out and castle. Obviously, depending on my opponent's moves, it's good to have a plan. I always like to have a plan of my next couple of moves. Obviously, it doesn't always pan out, and everyone's prone to blunders. But you know, that's chess. It's a difficult one. So I could give a check, gain a tempo on the on the king, but then it blocks my route for the plan. So I'm just going to slide the queen over there. Okay, castles. I could give a check again, but I'm not really sure what that gains. He just moves the king, so I'm going to continue with the plan. c6 opens up the diagonal for the dark square bishop. And castling is obviously really important. King safety. If your king's in trouble, you lose the game. So it develops the rook. I'm going to bring the bishop out here, put pressure on the knight. He's probably going to try and kick the bishop, but I'm happy to trade. Bishops tend to be favourable in the endgame, but certainly not losing if you have a knight against a bishop. Okay, so my pawn's under attack. The pawn on c6, so on the light square, the queen is attacking. So to defend that, it's probably the best move is to slide the rook and just defend. Don't want to just give away a free pawn, really. So control of the centre is not brilliant. I can now push this pawn that I've just defended. Try and get that pawn moving with the knight, maybe just exchange queens, force double pawns on my opponent's side. But not a bad position, really. The Caro-Kann's quite defensive. It wasn't a variation I'm familiar with either. I'm also conscious of the clock. I've got 1 minute and 22 seconds left, so I've got to start moving a little bit quicker. So pawn's under attack again. Maybe I could give up that pawn, but then it attacks the knight castle. I'm just going to give a check just to give me some thinking time. King's going to slide over. Probably just defend this pawn again. He's probably going to go back for the other pawn. Which he's now attacking both at the same time. So it's a good move. I've probably blundered a pawn there. So I think probably just castle is safe. Get the king out of the way. He's going to take the pawn. And either move my knight to safety or defend it with another piece. Okay, so no other pieces under attack. I can probably just move the knight. Got to be quicker here. Okay, I'll try and talk less and just and move the pieces. So this must be a new player as well, Boris Loops, because he hasn't got an official rating on the app yet. Which obviously neither do I, as I've just opened the channel. So I'm thinking develop my last pieces, get the rooks into the game. Connected rooks is good. Take an open file, put pressure on the king. Which I'm just going to do now. Move the rook, attack the queen, just gain another tempo. Constantly looking for weaknesses in my opponents. Could trade queens here. I've not got much time. Trade. I'm going to slide the queen back, actually. I don't really want to just trade unnecessarily. I'm not in a winning position. My opponent's got a pawn extra. So going into the end game, they would have an advantage. I try and manoeuvre my pieces onto the king side. Force an attack somehow. So he presses. Bring the knight in. He's probably going to kick it back again. Okay, stay there. I'm going to slide my rook to protect. I'm running out of time here. I have to play some speedy moves. Probably going to bring the king in just as an extra defender. Okay, attacks my queen, sorry. Okay, offer a trade now. He wants to trade queens. I'm back to just a bit of speed chess now. Okay, I've blundered the knight there, I've given it up, I think. It's trapped. Okay, so there we go, that's the move. Really low on time now. Okay. 6 seconds. Check. Defend the rook. Oh, that was a blunder. That's time pressure, but he didn't take it, so I can just take, give a check, and I've lost on time. Right, so my plan will be, obviously after a game I'll do a review, because no doubt I'll have made some mistakes. Losing on time is never nice. I would much prefer to get checkmated than lose on time, because if this turns out to be a winning position according to Stockfish, it's quite frustrating. So let's do a game review. So I can request a computer analysis, I think, somehow. Okay, so let's go to the start of the game. So yeah, this is the Caro-Kann. So e4, and you play c6. Knight develops, all standard stuff. He takes, I take. Pushes the pawn, develop. Knight, bishop out to attack. So the best engine move there is actually bishop blocks, and it's just a trade of bishops. I go here. Not a bad move, still even. Okay, so the best move again was the bishop move. I went for a defensive. So that's an inaccuracy there. Stockfish just wants the dark square bishop for white just to pile on the pressure with a discovered attack. So when the knight moves, the bishop is attacking my queen. So takes, retreats, get the light square bishop developed, a good move. Slide it back, attacks again, keep going. So another inaccuracy here. I should probably have won this game, it seems. Just from the opening alone, it's Stockfish has white at minus 1.9, which is a losing position. So the Stockfish likes e6, the pawn push to let the dark square bishop out. So the trade I didn't like, but it still has me up. So that was an inaccuracy. I'm not sure why. I can dig deeper perhaps another time. So kick the bishop slides back, move the knight, attacks my queen, queen to safety, castles, open up the bishop, develop the bishop, trade. Okay, so the computer didn't like that move either. It wanted me to castle first. And I thought if the queen takes the pawn, it's only a pawn, I think. I suppose positionally it's better to... So the best move for white there was to bring the bishop in. Not exactly seeing the follow-up there, but I'm sure with time I'll improve. Okay, so rook there, queen attacks a different pawn, check. Okay, yeah, moving the rook twice wasn't really necessary, and they could have infiltrated with the queen there. So castles, computer, so it's the best, or one of the best moves. Defend the knight. So that was a blunder. That was. Okay, so that was a blunder there from white. What did I... It's -4 on the engine, so presumably I have some kind of winning tactic here where I can win a piece, potentially a rook. So if I slid the rook over, white's